The boardroom air feels thick with cologne and crushed dreams as I watch my little brother fumble through his acceptance speech. My hands are steady, gripping my Mont Blanc pen so tight I'm surprised it hasn't snapped. 4 years at Harvard Business School, a decade of 60-hour weeks, and tripling our digital revenue mean nothing when you're born with the wrong chromosomes. I'm Viviana, and I'm about to burn my family's legacy to the ground. Isaiah represents the bold future of George Media, my father announces, his hand on my brother's shoulder. The same shoulder that, just last month, knocked over a $40,000 vase at the Tokyo office while drunk. The board's decision was unanimous. Unanimous. Right. I catch Audrey's eye across the table, and she gives me the slightest nod. My friend since law school has been collecting proxies like Pokemon cards for the past 18 months. They have no idea what's coming. I want to thank my father for this opportunity, Isaiah says, adjusting his tie for the 3rd time, and my big sister for, all her support. The shareholders applaud. Ross, that snake in an Armani suit, actually winks at me. I force myself to smile, the same smile I've worn through 1,000 patronising meetings and casual dismissals of my ideas, until they came from Isaiah's mouth. "Champagne!" my father calls out. His executive assistant, scurries in with bottles and flutes. The cork pops like a starting gun. "Speech!" someone calls out. Others join in. "Speech from the new CEO!" Isaiah steps forward, nearly tripping over his own feet. "Well, actually," I stand, smoothing my Chanel skirt. "There's one more item of urgent business we need to discuss." The room falls silent. My mother's champagne flute freezes halfway to her lips. "Viviana," my father warns, "this isn't the time." "It's exactly the time," I say, nodding to Audrey. She opens her briefcase, pulling out a stack of documents. "Before we toast to nepotism and mediocrity, I think the shareholders might be interested in these." "What is this?" Ross demands, reaching for the papers Audrey begins distributing. "Share certificates," I reply coolly, "and voting proxies. I've spent the last year and a half acquiring a controlling interest in George Media, legally, quietly, and, as of this morning, irrevocably." The colour drains from my father's face. "That's impossible. The family trust that you restructured last year to give Isaiah more control?" I smile. "The one with the loophole big enough to drive a Fortune 500 company through? That trust?" Isaiah laughs nervously. "Come on, Viv, this is ridiculous." "Page 3, paragraph 2, Audrey announces, Ms. George now controls 53% of voting shares." The room erupts. My father slams his fist on the table, making the champagne flutes dance. "This is a trick, a manipulation." "No, father," I cut him off. "This is karma and business. 2 things you should have taught me about, instead of just teaching me my place." My mother stands, trembling. "Viviana, please." I move for an immediate vote of no confidence in the current leadership, I announce, my voice carrying over the chaos. "All those in favour?" Hands begin to rise. Ross, that weather vane of power, hesitates for a moment before his arm goes up, too. I see the calculation in his eyes. Better to side with the winner than go down with the ship. "This is your last chance," my father hisses, grabbing my arm as the votes are counted. "Back down now or I'll—" "You'll what?" I pull free. "Remind everyone about my emotional instability. Leak those rumours about my personal life you've been sitting on. Go ahead. I'm done being the good daughter who sits quietly while you hand my birthright to an incompetent man-child." "Votes are tallied," Audrey announces. "The motion passes." Isaiah collapses into his chair, looking like he might vomit on his Ferragamo shoes. My father's face is purple with rage, and my mother just looks away, like she always has. "Congratulations on your promotion, little brother," I say, picking up a champagne flute. It might have been the shortest CEO tenure in corporate history, but hey, at least you can add it to your resume. As security begins clearing the room, I hear my father's voice, low and dangerous. "You'll regret this. I'll make sure of it." I turn back, meeting his eyes. "No, Father, you're the one who's going to regret not seeing me coming." The champagne tastes like victory, but this is just the beginning. I've spent years planning this moment, and now that it's here, I realize something. Revenge, like the best champagne, should be served cold. And I'm just getting started. "This is a hostile takeover," my father spits, pacing the now empty boardroom like a caged lion. The SEC will find everything in perfect order," Audrey interrupts, still calmly organizing her documents. "Every share purchase, every proxy, every transaction, documented and legitimate." Isaiah hasn't moved from his chair, staring at his reflection in the polished mahogany table. "How long?" he finally asks. "How long have you been planning this?" "Since the day you crashed the company jet, and Father called it youthful high spirits," I reply, watching him flinch. "Or maybe it was when you lost our biggest advertiser, because you were too hungover to make the pitch meeting. Take your pick." "You're making a mistake," my father says, his voice dangerously quiet. "There are things you don't know, Viviana, things that could destroy this company, and you with it." "Like the offshore accounts?" I ask innocently. "Or the creative accounting with the pension fund?" "Don't worry, Father, I know everything, and soon everyone else will too." The door bursts open and Ross strides in, his face flushed. The markets are already reacting. Stocks down 12%. "It'll recover," I say, taking my seat at the head of the table, my father's old seat. Once investors realize competent leadership is finally in place. "Competent?" Isaiah laughs bitterly. "You're destroying our family." "No, little brother, our family destroyed itself. I'm just making it official." My father moves closer, looming over me. "You think you're so clever. But what about those nights at the Waldorf last year? The ones you spent with—" "Don't," I cut him off. "Don't even try it. Those rumours you're planning to leak, I've already arranged for proof they're fabricated. Try to smear me and you'll just look more desperate than you already do." Audrey clears her throat. "The press release is ready. Shall I send it?" "Wait," my mother speaks for the first time, her voice trembling. "Viviana, please, we can work this out as a family." "Ah, family?" I stand, facing her. Where was this concern for family when Father passed me over for every promotion? When Isaiah's mistakes were covered up while my successes were ignored? When you sat silently through every dinner as he belittled my achievements? I was protecting you. You were protecting yourself, I snap. "Send it, Audrey." Phones start buzzing immediately. Ross reads his screen and whistles. "Stocks now down 18%. The vultures are circling." "Get out," I tell them all. "Except you, Father. We need to discuss the terms of your retirement." Isaiah stumbles to his feet. "This isn't over, Viv." "It was over before it began. You just didn't know it." As the others file out, my father remains, his face a mask of cold fury. "You want to know what real power is, little girl? Watch what happens when I call in every favour, every connection I've built over 40 years. By the time I'm done—" "By the time you're done," I interrupt, "you'll be lucky if the Justice Department doesn't come knocking. Remember Thomas Martinez?" He freezes. "What about him?" "Your old partner, the one who disappeared after threatening to expose your creative financing? I found him. In fact, we had quite an interesting lunch last week." "You're bluffing." I pull out my phone, play a recording. "Landon forced me to cook the books. I have proof." Click. My father sinks into a chair, suddenly looking every one of his 60 years. "What do you want? Resign? Today? Take Isaiah with you, walk away quietly, and those files stay buried. fight me and I'll burn everything to the ground, including your reputation." "You really hate me that much?" "This isn't about hate," I say, though my heart pounds. "It's about justice and business. You taught me well, just not the lessons you intended." He stands slowly, straightens his tie. "You think you've won. But power comes with a price, Viviana, and you're not ready for what it costs." As he reaches the door, I hear him mutter, "Your personal files, the ones in the safe at home. Shame if they leak to the press." My blood runs cold, but I keep my voice steady. "Try it. Please, give me one more reason to destroy what's left of you." He leaves without another word, but his threat hangs in the air. I've won the battle, but the war, it's just beginning. And somewhere in the building, I hear my mother crying. Audrey returns, laptop in hand. "The press is going crazy. They want statements, interviews." "Let them wait," I say, staring out at the Manhattan skyline. "First, we need to secure the company servers, and Audrey, get someone to change the locks on my father's safe, tonight." The sun is setting over the city, painting the sky blood red. Appropriate, really. Because tomorrow, the real bloodletting begins. "Darling, please," my mother begs, her hands shaking as she pours tea in our family home's sunroom. "This vendetta, it's destroying us all." Funny how family unity only matters when I'm in charge, I say, watching a sugar cube dissolve in my cup. Where was this concern when Father was— "I know I failed you," she interrupts, tears welling up. "But Isaiah, he's spiralling. He hasn't been home in days." "He's at the Four Seasons," I reply coolly, "with Peyton from marketing, room 1214. Would you like to know what they're charging to room service?" My mother's teacup clatters against its saucer. "You're having him followed." "I'm protecting company assets. Speaking of which," I slide my phone across the table, showing her the latest stock report, down 27% since the takeover. "Your father built this company from nothing." "And I'll rebuild it from the ashes he created." I stand smoothing my skirt. "Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a meeting." "With that reporter?" Her voice turns sharp. "Aurora Wilson? I remember her from your college days. She was always ambitious." "Like mother, like daughter," I say, heading for the door. "Oh, and Mom, you might want to move your emergency cash from the garden shed. The roses aren't as good a hiding place as you think." The drive downtown gives me time to think, but a text from Audrey interrupts my plotting. "Urgent. Isaiah tried to access the main servers. Failed, making threats." Perfect timing. I forward the message to Aurora, who's waiting for me at a quiet cafe off Madison Avenue. "Your brother's cocaine habit," she says without preamble, sliding into the booth. "How long?" "Hello to you too," I smile. "And who said anything about cocaine?" Aurora taps her notebook. "Sources say he's been erratic, missed meetings, that scene at Le Bernardin last week." "Off the record?" I lean forward. "Check his expenses at Club 11 and talk to Peyton in marketing. She's motivated to share." "Because you promised her a promotion?" "Because I promised not to fire her for embezzlement." I sip my espresso. Unlike my father, I notice when junior executives cook the books. Aurora's eyes gleam. "Speaking of books, I heard rumours about offshore accounts." "Rumours are dangerous things," I say carefully. "But sometimes anonymous USB drives appear in investigative journalists' mailboxes. Hypothetically." My phone buzzes. Audrey again. "Ross requesting urgent meeting. Says it's about your father." "Duty calls," I tell Aurora, standing. "But keep your inbox clear. Those rumours might become very interesting very soon." Ross is waiting in my office, looking nervous. "We have a problem. Your father's calling in loans. Big ones. Banks are getting skittish." "Let me guess. He's calling in favours from the golf club crowd?" "This is serious, Viviana. We could lose—" "Nothing," I cut him off. "We'll lose nothing. because in exactly 1 hour, the FBI will announce an investigation into those same banks' lending practices. Funny timing, isn't it? Ross pales. You didn't? I protect my investments, Ross. All of them, including the evidence of your own creative accounting, so choose your next moves carefully. He leaves without another word, but I'm already focused on the next fire. Lucille, our social media manager, appears in my doorway. Mom, you should see this. She hands me her tablet. On screen, Isaiah's doing a live Instagram rant from what looks like a hotel bar. My sister, she's crazy, the things she did, the real reason she was in Switzerland last year. I hit mute, hand the tablet back. Delete it. Copyright claim. And Lucille, make sure our friend Peyton sees it. She hates when Isaiah drinks in public. Yes, Mom. Lucille hesitates. There's something else. A message came in through the corporate account from someone claiming to be Kent. The name hits me like a slap. My estranged brother, the family ghost. Father had erased him so completely, even the press forgot he existed. What did it say? Just this. Tell Viviana the prodigal son returns, and this time I'm not leaving empty-handed. My phone rings. It's Audrey. Turn on CNBC, now. I grab the remote, and there it is. Breaking news. George Media. CEO under investigation. Sources allege massive fraud. But it's not about Isaiah or my father. The headline shows my name. Another text flashes. Unknown number. Did you think you were the only one who could dig up secrets, sister? Check your email. The Switzerland files send their regards. My hands don't shake as I open my laptop. They never shake. But when I see the attachment labelled Viviana's baby, the truth, my heart stops. Some secrets should stay buried. But now, as the walls close in, I realise, in a war of mutually assured destruction, everyone bleeds. And somewhere out there, Kent is smiling. The Switzerland files sit unopened in my inbox like a digital time bomb. 3 years of careful planning, and now Kent threatens to unravel everything with one leak. I found him, Audrey announces, striding into my office. He's staying at the plaza under a fake name. Been there 3 days. Security footage? She hands me her tablet. There he is, my eldest brother, looking exactly like father did at 35, right down to the predatory swagger. He's been meeting with Ross. Of course he has. I stand grabbing my coat. Time to pay Big Brother a visit. The plaza's lobby sparkles with old money and new secrets. I spot Kent immediately, holding court at the bar like he never left. Hello, stranger, I say, sliding onto the stool beside him. Blackmail's a bit crude, don't you think? Baby sister. He smirks, swirling his scotch, still fighting Daddy's battles? No, just winning them. That's not what I heard. He pulls out his phone, shows me a photo that makes my blood freeze, me entering a private clinic in Geneva. Want to tell me about your little vacation? Want to tell me why father really cut you off? I counter. Because I found some interesting documents in his safe. Kent's smile falters. You're bluffing. The DNA test? The real one? It's amazing what money can reveal about parentage. He grabs my arm, fingers digging in. You don't know what you're playing with. Neither do you. I break his grip. Those Switzerland files? Release them and everyone learns why father's real firstborn had to disappear, including your wife. You wouldn't dare. Try me. I learned from the best. Our family. My phone buzzes. Lucille. Emergency. Isaiah's doing a press conference now. Hey, excuse me, I tell Kent. Duty calls. Oh, and check your accounts. Those offshore millions you thought were hidden. I froze them an hour ago. I make it to the office just as Isaiah takes the podium, looking sweaty and unstable. Peyton hovers nearby, her face a mask of concern. My sister, he slurs into the microphone, is a fraud. She had a baby, gave it away, in Switzerland. Ask her about... Peyton suddenly trips, knocking into him. Water spills across his shirt. The cameras cut away as he curses. "Nice work," I text her. "The promotion paperwork is already on my desk." "Viviana!" My mother bursts in, waving her phone. "What's this about Switzerland? About a baby?" "Mother, don't lie to me. Not now. Was it true? Did you—" "No," I say quietly. "But Kent thinks it was, just like Father wanted him to." Her face crumples. "What do you mean?" "The clinic visits. They were for you, weren't they? Back when Kent was born, when Father wasn't even in the country." She sinks into a chair, decades of secrets weighing her down. "How did you—" "DNA doesn't lie, Mother. Neither do old hospital records. Kent isn't Father's son. He's the reason Father's first marriage ended. And now he's back, thinking he can blackmail me with fake evidence about a non-existent grandchild. If this gets out, it won't unless Kent forces my hand." Audrey appears in the doorway. "Ross is calling an emergency board meeting. Says he has evidence of irregular trading before the takeover. Let me guess, provided by Kent, along with some interesting photos, you, Father, and a suspicious briefcase last year." I laugh. "The one full of documents proving Ross's insider trading? Perfect. Tell him I'll see him there." My mother stands shakily. "What are you going to do?" "What this family taught me to do. Fight fire with fire." I check my lipstick in the reflection of my phone. "And Mother, you might want to call Kent. Tell him about Father's real DNA test, the one you kept all these years." As she leaves, Audrey hands me a stack of files. Kent's financial records, Ross's emails, and Isaiah's latest drug test results. Ready to end this? Not quite. I pull up my email, finally opening the Switzerland files. First, let's see what other secrets our family's keeping. My phone lights up with a text from an unknown number. "You're not the only one with files, sister. Board meeting in 30 minutes. Choose wisely." I text back, "Thanks for the warning, Kent. By the way, how's your real father doing these days? Give Judge Harrison my regards." The typing indicator appears, disappears, appears again. Finally, "What do you want?" I smile, standing to straighten my suit. "The same thing you do, brother. The truth. All of it. Let's see who survives when all the lies come out." The board meeting awaits, and this time everyone's secrets are on the table. The boardroom feels like a powder keg as Isaiah stumbles through his strategic vision presentation. 3 slides in, and he's already sweating through his Armani. "Our digital transformation initiative," he squints at the screen, "will leverage synergistic opportunities across multiple—" "He's high," Ross whispers to the board member next to him. "Look at his pupils." I let it continue for exactly 5 more excruciating minutes before standing. "Thank you, Isaiah. I think we've seen enough." "I'm not finished." He slams his hand on the table. "You don't get to—" "Actually, I do." I nod to Lucille, who's been recording everything from the corner. "Please note the time and date of this performance, and forward the footage to HR." "You bitch!" Isaiah snarls, knocking over his water glass. "You think you're so perfect? Tell them about Switzerland. Tell them about—" "About what?" Peyton enters, heels clicking on marble. "About us, Isaiah. About the company money you've been stealing to fund our little getaways." Isaiah's face goes white. "Peyton, don't—" "Or maybe about the cocaine." She drops a folder on the table. "Your expense reports are fascinating reading." "You promised," he whispers. "You said you loved—" "I promised I'd help you succeed," she cuts him off. "But you're not succeeding, are you? You're imploding, and I protect my investments." Ross stands, straightening his tie. "This is all very entertaining, but we have real business to discuss, like these trading records showing irregular—" "Sit down, Ross," I say quietly, "unless you'd like to explain your meetings with Kent, the ones where you plan to frame me for insider trading using doctored photos." That's ridiculous, is it? Kent's voice booms from the doorway. Tell them, Ross. Tell them how much I paid you to set up my sister. The board erupts in chaos. Through the glass walls, I see reporters gathering in the lobby. Perfect timing. Enough! I slam my hand down. Let's lay everything on the table. Isaiah's addiction, Ross's betrayal, Kent's parentage, my supposed Swiss secrets, all of it. You wouldn't dare! My mother appears, pale but determined. Viviana, please! Watch me. I press a button on my phone. On the massive screen behind me, documents begin to appear. Bank records showing Isaiah embezzled millions, emails proving Ross colluded with Kent, and yes, mother, the DNA test showing Kent's real father. Kent lunges forward, but security catches him. You'll regret this! No, you will, all of you. I turn to the board. Every person in this room chose sides, chose to either help destroy me or profit from my destruction. Now you'll all face the consequences. Peyton smirks, clearly thinking she's safe. I turn to her last. Oh, and Peyton, those recordings you made of Isaiah, the ones you thought would protect you, check your phone. They've been deleted, along with your offshore account. Her face crumples. But I helped you. You helped yourself, I correct her. There's a difference. Isaiah, who's been surprisingly quiet, suddenly starts laughing. You think you've won? Check your email, sis. I just sent Aurora everything, every dirty secret, every lie, everything. My phone buzzes. It's Aurora. Story going live in 5. Sure you want this? I text back one word. Yes. The screens in the boardroom suddenly switch to breaking news. Aurora's byline fills the screen. George Media Empire, a dynasty of lies exposed. You're destroying everything, my mother cries. No, I say, watching Isaiah collapse into his chair. I'm cleaning house. The company will survive. Some of us won't. Security begins clearing the room. Ross is already calling his lawyer. Kent's being escorted out, shouting threats. Isaiah just sits there, staring at nothing. Miss George, Lucille appears at my elbow. Your father's downstairs, with federal agents. I smile. Right on schedule. Viviana, my mother grabs my arm. What have you done? What you never had the courage to do, I tell her. I ended it, all of it. Through the windows, I watch my father being led out in handcuffs, reporters swarming like sharks. Isaiah follows, barely able to walk straight. Kent's already in a police car. The stock will crash, Ross warns as security approaches him. You'll lose everything. No, I say, taking my seat at the head of the table. I'll rebuild it, without the rot, without the lies, without any of you. My phone buzzes one last time. Aurora again. Story's viral. You're trending. Want to comment? I look around the empty boardroom at the wreckage of my family's empire and type, sometimes the only way to save something is to burn it down first. The markets are about to open. The real work begins now, and I've never felt more ready. Stock's down 60%, Audrey announces, pacing my office. Twitter's calling it the George family massacre. We're trending above the latest celebrity divorce. I scan Aurora's article on my tablet. She didn't hold back. Fraud, addiction, paternity scandals, corporate espionage, it's all there in brutal detail. Your father's bail hearing is in an hour, she continues. Isaiah's in rehab. Kent's disappeared, probably headed for a non-extradition country. And Ross... Miss George, Lucille bursts in. Your mother, she's collapsed. They're taking her to Presbyterian. The drive to the hospital feels endless. In the waiting room, I find my father's secretary, ex-secretary, crying quietly in a corner. Stress-induced cardiac event, the doctor tells me. She's stable, but what? The strain of recent events. She needs peace. Calm. No more shocks. I laugh bitterly. Little late for that. My phone won't stop buzzing. Sponsors pulling out. board members resigning, journalists wanting comments. I silence them all when I enter my mother's room. She looks small in the hospital bed, tubes snaking around her like vines. "Was it worth it?" she whispers. Before I can answer, Aurora appears in the doorway. "Viviana, we need to talk." In the hallway, she shows me her phone. "Someone leaked emails from your private server." "Impossible. I have military-grade encryption." "Read them." My stomach drops. Emails to offshore accounts, conversations about bribes, strategy discussions about destroying my family, all real but carefully selected to paint me as a sociopath who orchestrated everything for power. "Kent," I growl, "he must have—" "It gets worse," Aurora cuts me off. "There's video, security footage from the clinic in Switzerland." "That's impossible. I was never—" "Not you, your mother, from 35 years ago, with Judge Harrison." The pieces click together. Kent didn't just find proof of his parentage, he found proof of how it was covered up. The payoffs, the threats, the lies. "The story's going viral," Aurora continues. "People are calling for criminal investigations into you." My phone rings. "Audrey, turn on CNBC, now." The hospital waiting room TV shows Ross at a press conference. "Ms. George's actions were calculated, malicious, and possibly criminal. I have evidence." "That snake," I hiss, "after everything he did." "He's offering to testify against you," Aurora says quietly, "in exchange for immunity." A nurse rushes past. "Code blue in 4 and 12! Code blue!" My mother's room. Everything moves in slow motion. Doctors running, machines beeping, my mother's face grey and still. "Clear." They shock her once, twice. My phone keeps buzzing. Stock prices, resignations, threats of lawsuits. "We have a pulse," someone says, "but she's weak." In the chaos, I feel a hand on my shoulder. It's Lucille. "Miss George, there's something you should know." She leads me to an empty consultation room, pulls out her tablet. Before everything happened, I made copies of everything, including what Ross and Kent didn't want found. "What do you mean?" "Ross didn't just help Kent frame you. They were planning to take over together, split the company. I have proof, recordings, emails, bank transfers." "Why are you showing me this?" She straightens her spine. "Because you gave me a chance when no one else would. Because you saw me when everyone else looked through me. And because what they're doing isn't right." My phone buzzes again. "Aurora, running follow-up story tomorrow. Need your side." "Miss George?" Lucille's voice is quiet but firm. "There's something else. About your mother and Judge Harrison. It's not what Kent thinks. The video he has. It's edited. I found the original. For the first time in days, I feel a smile tugging at my lips. "Lucille, how would you like a promotion?" "What are you thinking?" "I'm thinking it's time for the real story, all of it. No more selective leaks, no more partial truths." I start typing on my phone. "Aurora, meet me in an hour. Bring your camera." "What about your mother?" Lucille asks. The doctor said no more shocks. I look through the window at my mother's room, where machines keep beeping their steady rhythm. "Sometimes the truth is the only medicine that works, even when it hurts." My phone lights up one last time. A message from an unknown number. "You can't prove anything." I forward it to Lucille, who smiles and holds up her tablet. "Actually, sir, we can prove everything. The war isn't over, but for the first time since this started, I'm not fighting alone. And tomorrow, the real truth comes out. All of it." "Play it," I tell Lucille, watching Kent squirm in his seat across the boardroom table. The video flickers to life on the giant screen, Judge Harrison and my mother, but not in the way Kent thought. "You can't blackmail me," the judge says in the footage. "I won't falsify a paternity test." "I'm not blackmailing you," my mother replies. I'm protecting my son from his real father, the one who threatened to kill him if anyone found out. Kent's face goes ashen. Turn it off. No, I say. Watch. Learn who really tried to destroy who. Ross bursts through the door. Whatever she's showing you, it's fake. Like these? Lucille projects Ross's emails onto another screen. The ones where you and Kent planned to frame Viviana, where you discussed splitting up the company. You have no proof of... Actually, Aurora steps out from the shadows, recorder in hand. She has all the proof, and I have your confession from last night. Amazing what men will say when they think they're talking to a sympathetic bartender. Ross lunges for her recorder. Security catches him before he makes it 2 steps. You're done, I tell them both. The FBI has everything, the real evidence, the real story. You can't, Kent stammers. Father will what? I pull up the live feed from the courthouse. Watch. On screen, my father stands before a judge, pleading guilty to decades of financial fraud. Part of a deal I orchestrated, his confession for a reduced sentence. The company's worthless now anyway, Ross sneers. Stock's dead, reputation ruined. Check again. Lucille displays the market ticker. The stock is soaring. Amazing what happens when you announce a complete corporate restructuring, I say. New board, new leadership, total transparency. And a very public commitment to ethics, Aurora adds, already typing on her phone. My new story goes live in an hour. Phoenix Rising, how Viviana George exposed corruption and saved an empire. You're all fired, by the way, I tell Ross and Kent. Security will escort you out, and don't bother with lawsuits. Everything's documented. As they're led away, Audrey enters with more news. Isaiah's agreed to rehab. Full program. He'll sign over his shares in exchange for a clean break. And my mother? Recovering. The doctors say the truth actually helped. No more secrets weighing her down. I stand at the window, watching Ross and Kent being escorted from the building. Reporters swarm them like piranha. My phone buzzes with a text from my father. You won. Happy now? Not yet, I murmur, turning back to the room. Lucille, initiate Protocol Phoenix. She nods, pressing a button. Throughout the building, screens light up with the announcement, complete corporate restructuring, new board members, new ethical guidelines, profit sharing for employees, total transparency in operations. Miss George? A young intern appears. The new board members are here for their orientation. They file in, diverse, accomplished ethical leaders I've spent months vetting. No more old boys club. No more backroom deals. Welcome to the New George Media, I tell them, where we build things up instead of tearing them down. Quite a change from your revenge plan, Aurora notes quietly. This was always the plan, I correct her. The corruption had to be exposed before it could be cleaned out. Sometimes you need a controlled burn to restore health to a forest. My phone buzzes again. A message from my mother. Visiting hours until 8. Come see me? Go, Audrey says. We've got this. At the hospital, my mother looks stronger. I saw the news, she says. All of it. I'm sorry it had to. Don't be. She takes my hand. You did what I should have done 30 years ago. Faced the truth. Fought back. Kent, his real father, was a monster. I protected Kent the only way I knew how. Your father helped, gave him his name. We thought we were doing right. And now? She smiles sadly. Now I know that lies, even protective ones, eventually poison everything they touch. My phone lights up with updates, stock climbing higher, positive press rolling in, employee morale soaring, the phoenix rising from the ashes. You'll need a new CFO, my mother says suddenly. Someone ethical, brilliant with numbers. Mother, are you offering? Once I'm better, if you'll have me. I squeeze her hand. The board meets Tuesdays at 10. Outside her room, I check the final numbers for the day. Stock up 40%. 3 major advertisers returned. 6 acquisition offers rejected. Ms. George, Lucille appears with a tablet. Tomorrow's schedule? Clear it, I tell her. We're having a company-wide meeting. It's time everyone knew exactly what kind of company they're working for now. And what kind is that? I look around the hospital corridor, thinking of family, truth, and second chances. The kind that builds things, the kind that makes things right. My phone buzzes one last time. A message from Isaiah in rehab. Thank you for stopping me before I destroyed myself completely. Sometimes victory looks different than you imagined. Sometimes it looks like healing. So, was it worth it? Aurora asked, perched on the edge of my desk. The revenge, the exposures, the family chaos? Through my office window, I watch the sunset paint Manhattan gold. The same view, but everything else has changed. Ask them, I gesture to the bullpen outside, where employees actually smile now, where merit matters more than connections, where my mother, fully recovered, runs the financial department with razor-sharp precision. That's not an answer, Aurora presses, recorder running. You want the truth? All of it? Always. I lean back, choosing my words carefully. Revenge wasn't the goal, it was the tool. Like chemotherapy, you have to kill the bad cells to save the patient. And the personal cost. My phone buzzes, a message from Isaiah. 6 months sober today. Thanks for not giving up on me. Some costs were worth it. I show her the message. Some weren't. Kent was found in Bangkok, she says. Local authorities? I know. I'm paying for his defense lawyer. She raises an eyebrow. After everything he did? He did what he thought he had to, just like I did. Difference is, I'm giving him what our parents never gave me, a chance to make it right. Lucille knocks and enters. Your father's here. He looks older in prison orange, but cleaner somehow, unburdened. The SEC approved the new compliance guidelines, I tell him, the ones you always said would strangle the business. And profits up 30%, turns out ethical business is good business. He nods slowly. Your brother, Isaiah, he's really sober. Running the charitable foundation, turns out he's excellent at helping people when he's not trying to prove himself to you. And your mother? Ask her yourself. She's down the hall, running numbers better than you ever did. He stands, handcuffs clinking. I was wrong, Viviana, about everything. I know. No, he steps closer. You don't. I was wrong about you. You didn't destroy my legacy. You built a better one. After he's gone, Audrey brings in the latest board reports. We're expanding into ethical tech investment. The team you picked is brilliant. Speaking of teams, I pull up an email. Ross sent this from wherever he's hiding, wants to make a deal. And I already sent it to the FBI. Some deals aren't worth making. My phone lights up. A text from Kent. The lawyer you sent, she says there's a way forward, a way to make amends. Tell him yes, I text back, but he has to earn it. Aurora's still watching me. You never answered my question. Was it worth it? I stand, walking to the window. Below, the city pulses with life. Somewhere down there, my mother is having dinner with Isaiah. Audrey is reviewing contracts that will help build schools in underserved areas. Lucille is mentoring new employees who would never have gotten a chance under the old regime. Look around, I tell Aurora. What do you see? A successful company? I see redemption. Isaiah got sober. Mother found her strength. Kent's facing his demons. Even father finally told the truth. And you? What did you get? My phone buzzes again, a group photo from Isaiah's sobriety celebration. Mother's there, beaming. Audrey and Lucille too, even some of the board members. I got something better than revenge, I say. I got to build something real, something that helps people instead of using them. Last question, Aurora says. They're calling you the Queen of Corporate Karma online. Your response? I think of all the nights plotting revenge, the satisfaction of watching it unfold, and the unexpected peace of what came after. Karma isn't about punishment, I tell her. It's about balance. Sometimes you have to break things to fix them. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself. She clicks off her recorder. Off the record, you did good, Viviana. After she leaves, I send one final text to Kent. Family dinner when you get back. We've got work to do. The sun sets over Manhattan, and I think about power, not the kind that breaks things, but the kind that builds them, the kind that heals. My phone buzzes one last time, a message from my mother. Proud of you, daughter, not for what you destroyed, for what you built from the ashes. I smile, gathering my things. There's a board meeting tomorrow, new projects to approve, more good to do. Turns out, revenge isn't a destination. It's just a step on the path to something better, something real, something worth building.